We are live.
We are
All
live.
right. What's going on, YouTube? We're live doing our first show of the day. It's me, Mondo, Pedro,
Yes, sir. We welcome
Palacios.
everybody.
We're excited about doing our show here. It's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve, but
We're excited, man.
yeah.
Taking the first step.
So
But you gotta say the name of the show, bro.
I am
Oh,
right
okay.
now. That's I'm going down my
I
list.
was gonna
It's
say,
okay.
I was like,
We're
whoa.
going to have fun tonight. We got 3 topics we want to cover, but before we do the topics, we wanted to go ahead and unofficially name our show the Uneducated Opinions, because at the end of the day, we
We're
really
all
don't
very
know.
much
We really don't
educated.
know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're just pretending.
We know more than liberals, I'll tell you that right now.
Yes, probably do, because we Wikipedia before we went live.
Yeah.
So
Oh gosh.
yes. So Pedro, what is your audience that you think that we're trying to reach here throughout the show here as we post videos over the next few years, hopefully?
I would say the uneducated, conservative, Christian young person in general.
Why? Why so? Why do you feel like that's an audience that needs to be tapped into?
Because I believe that's the audience that is swayed by either accurate information or false information.
So you feel
If
like they're the
you know what I'm
audience
saying.
that is maybe kind of like, on the precipice of deciding, which way they want to go.
And on which way they want to go, and they're quick to just go with whatever's hot.
All
I
right.
grew up in the 90s, and I can actually we can actually I think you can vouch for this the same way. You grew up in the 90s. Um, how the information was just being dropped to us, and our information, I don't know about, you know what I'm saying, is came from MTV, BET,
Yeah.
those networks that, and I still remember to this day when Al Gore and George Bush actually made an appearance on MTV, and that's where I got my politics from. So that was big.
Al Gore.
Al Gore and George was it George W, right?
Yeah.
George W back in 2000. That's where I got my politics from. And so other than that, I couldn't have told you who was running for anything. But I think our audience, a lot of it, I think they're very smart, but also very misinformed about truth. And I think that's what we're trying to put out here. Mostly it's the truth about everything, and allow them to make up their own mind.
Yes.
Would that be accurate?
Yeah. So truth is a big word for me. This is the definition that I like to use.
The truth. Is it the truth or the truth?
Truth. Truth. Definition that I like to use for finding truth is having a uniform perception of reality. So basically, the way I break that down is, if we all understand the same thing, we've arrived at a truth. Doesn't mean it's right, but at least we're on the same ground. So we build our perception by looking at the facts, looking at the data, looking at everything, and then that's how we come to conclusion
And
about
drawing
what the
the same
truth is.
conclusion
So we have
with the evidence that we have.
So we have a packed show tonight that we're going to try and cover as many things as we can. Hopefully, if you're watching this, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a thumbs up.
Hit
We're
that
hoping
like button. Hit that
Yeah.
like button.
hit that like button. We're going to try to cover as many topics as we can from a Christian conservative perspective.
Drop some questions too on that thing. See if we can answer them.
Also hit a comment.
Yes.
So thank you. First topic of the day is the Twitter drops. Big thing that came out yesterday. Big news that happened yesterday, Thursday. Bari Weiss, she was a former writer for the Wall Street Journal, New York Times. She's the founder and editor of the Free Press. I apologize, and the Honestly podcast.
This is the second one that is dropped.
This is the second one that is dropped. I'm not going to cover the last one because it's from a different news cycle, but here we are a day later. just went bananas.
It went a little crazy, and the names that were on that thing was pretty big.
So what was the news that what exactly was the information that she dropped?
For these guys, you want me to read it out
Yeah,
loud?
well, just in terms of what was the information that she told us um about what Twitter was doing.
It was suppressing freedom of speech.
She was suppressing freedom of speech.
Twitter was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Twitter was
Twitter.
suppressing freedom of speech, and how exactly were they doing that?
They were flagging accounts of not just conservative uh, uh, account holders from Twitter, but also basically difference of opinions about COVID, which that one was very big. And so that when I saw that, that one kind of stood out for me. And you said that that person that hold that account was it's a liberal professor.
Oh,
Is
okay.
that correct?
Jay Bhattacharya.
Yeah.
hmm And just to give you a perspective on who Bari Weiss is, um, she's
yes.
not a MAGA conservative. She's not even a moderate conservative. She's not even a moderate. She's a liberal.
leftist.
Liberal leftist. This is how crazy it's gotten with just the media, social media. Um, the left are just completely upset, and they're done with the status quo of what's been going on by the elites, by the liberals, by the leftists. She is releasing the information. So basically, what happened is conservatives were being blacklisted on Twitter. And what do we mean by blacklisted? They were being blacklisted or throttled down or just completely being suppressed by the algorithm. Twitter obviously is a social media company. And with social media, everything's done on the computer, and there's algorithms and there's ways that you can suppress certain accounts from reaching.
No, we have Lucas here.
Sorry.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good. So basically, what's happening is there's four names that I want to cover that were just completely taken off the here. Let me give you the names. Jay Bhattacharya. He is a professor, health policy professor from Stanford University. He opposed COVID-19 lockdowns, and he appears to have been placed on a trans blacklist. Another account that was suppressed was the Libs of TikToks. It's called a right wing Libs of TikTok. Well, basically, if you've never heard of Libs of TikTok is an account that all they do is just repost some of the videos that libs are posting on TikTok. There's no commenting. They're not writing any captions. It's just reposting what libs are posting, and it's showing people how crazy these people are. If you ever have time, just check out on Twitter, YouTube, do a quick search, some of the videos, and you can kind of have an idea of how crazy some of these people are. Dan Bongino is a big one, conservative.
That's a big conservative talk show host.
What was his job? What was his job before he was conservative
Secret
talk show
Service
host?
agent.
He was a Secret Service agent.
I believe for Obama
for Obama,
or Clinton, one of the two. I can't remember which one, but he was a Secret Service agent for one of the presidents, and he became a conservative talk show. He ran for Congress down here before, here in
oh yeah, I remember that here in Fort Myers. Yeah, he did.
And so I believe the seat that Byron Donalds has now, I believe that's what he was running for. He ran against Francis Rooney.
Francis Rooney, who won?
Francis Rooney.
Oh wow!
but he became a let's just say Francis Rooney. It's a good thing we got rid of him.
Yeah.
But he's big now, so he holds the Dan Bongino show on
Facebook,
not on Facebook. He has
Fox
a
News.
podcast. He has Fox News. Appears on Fox News on Sundays. So if you look him up, he's real big, real good guy. And they flagged him.
They flagged
They
him.
flagged him.
They're suppressing
And so
him.
what does this do? But what does it do when they flag somebody? How much
Um,
information is actually being withheld from people?
so basically, the way it works is um, when a content creator creates content, um, when a content creator creates content, they put it out there on the platform, and according to how many people watch it or like it, it goes up and it receives more attention by the users. But Twitter was what they were basically doing is they were putting in the algorithm so that these content creators, whenever they would post tweets or videos or any sort of content that they're putting out there, they were writing in the algorithm that this content would not rise to the top. It would not be seen by other people. And so typically, if you have a million followers, or let's say 100 followers, just to make it easy, the math easy. If you have 100 followers, if you put something out there, your 100 followers should be able to see it. But because they're suppressing it, instead of 100 followers being able to see it, maybe 10 followers be able to see it. On top of that, let's say those 10 followers, they're reposting it because they're reposting it or liking it or putting it out there. The way it should work, in a system of meritocracy, if something gets more attention, is more popular, it should rise to the top because those 10 or 20 people are reposting it or they're liking it or they're watching it. There's more views. But because Twitter had this algorithm, what was happening was, even though people were watching it, there was like a glass ceiling that it couldn't break, um, and it wasn't rising and it wasn't getting any attention. And the reason why that's important for these content creators is they're trying to reach out and try to
Reach
educate
certain
the
people.
public, and they're obviously paid by the views and by the clicks or whatever, advertisers, and they're not able to be monetized because of that,
But you
and
know
there's
what?
bogus reasons.
What one of the things is that I mean it does it's not like the algorithm just does it on its own. It's programmed to
It's written, it's
it's
code,
written as
it's code,
code.
it's written.
So this came from the top. It wasn't just, oh, let's just make this algorithm and let's see what happens. So the actual blocking of these accounts actually came from the high profiles of Twitter.
Yeah.
If I can say that without getting in trouble. Nobody come after me. I'm just a lonely guy, not a big guy yet. So what they do is you take somebody like Dan Bongino. You talked about Charlie Kirk already?
No, not yet. That
Not
was
yet.
next.
Okay. So you take somebody like Dan Bongino, like you were saying. So he's a conservative talk show host. So his audience is conservatives, but in the same way, he reaches people that are not informed or they don't have the right idea of maybe what a conservative is or and things like that. So when they block them, that information does not go out there anymore. It gets blocked and people can't see it. So it's very big because it not only are they blocking these accounts of these people, but they're also suppressing the American people with freedom of speech. So us not them not being allowed to post and comment on their opinion, that is suppressing our freedom of speech here in America. And so it's something that is very big, and we shouldn't take it lightly. When you can't express your opinion on how you feel about a certain person, a certain thing, certain subject, certain matter that is going around in the United States, It's it's dangerous. It's dangerous for us because that's our number one thing that our nation was founded on is freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, freedom of religion, so freedom of the press. But when the press is actually bought and paid for by a certain political party and they start suppressing the American people, that's when it starts to get dangerous. And it gets dangerous because all the information that you see is what they want you to see, not so you will make up your own opinion and you're on based on your own facts, on the facts that are given. I'm sorry, but you make your opinion based on the facts and the information that they give you, and so that's why it's very dangerous. And I mean, you can thank Elon Musk for this. Now that all these things are coming out, and I still don't trust him. I mean, I don't trust the
No.
guy, but he's doing something good right now. And like the same person that said the lady that did this, like I said, I don't trust him because it's almost like how do you say, a two-edged sword, right? It cuts one way, but it's also cutting the other way. So you don't do something for nothing. Let's just say that. And just as right now they're exposing all these different things, maybe somebody didn't get paid. Maybe somebody did. I don't know. We always have to follow the money. That's where all the that's where everything is at. And so that's the biggest thing about with this is suppressing the freedom of speech, the American people, for us to make our own opinions and our own conclusions about how we see fit for our lives and our daily lives. And so it's big. And hopefully they keep coming out with some more stuff and we can get to the bottom of 2020.
What I think there's going to be one more drop. I think they separated into 3 drops altogether.
Wow.
So there's one more big drop coming out. So it's been done very strategically.
And the first one was big. I mean, I know we haven't hit on it. It's about the Hunter Biden
The
laptop.
Hunter Biden story.
Yeah.
Which can you just
that-
touch on it real quick? What exactly
Well,
happened in the first drop?
when they went on it, I believe it was the New York Times that came out with it, and it was right before election, right before November. And they went. I guess they sat down and they said, "Hey, how can we? Should we take this out?" And Twitter automatically flagged it down.
Why did that conversation happen though?
Because some very important names were in that laptop.
Well, yeah, but
And
there's one more thing. The government
Yes.
started the
the
FBI
FBI
started
and it was the FBI that went to Twitter. And-
giving warnings
yes.
about Russian disinformation.
Yes, and that's what they had called it.
And Twitter responded by having this meeting in the dead of night.
Mm-hmm.
And
A lot of things happen in the dead of night.
yeah, which
a
we'll
lot of
get
people
to.
go. A lot of people go missing.
So they had this meeting that you're talking about.
That never happened.
That never happened, and they suppressed it. They suppressed the story. They came to the conclusion. What was the conclusion they came to?
To whatever, if it comes up some way, to label it Russian misinformation, then that's what they label it as.
And then they took the story off.
Yep.
They suppressed the story.
And if that would not have happened, ladies and gentlemen, we would have had a Donald Trump presidency right now. And I don't think we'd be in the mess that we're in right now with
Why
Russia,
do you say
Ukraine,
that? Why do you think that we would have had a Donald Trump presidency?
because the Biden name was all over that.
Because the Biden name.
It was all over. It was all over that laptop. So I mean, Joe Biden was involved in it. The president's son. I mean, you think about it. Every country that we're in bed with right now was probably in that laptop. China, Ukraine, Russia, and so I mean, it's something big, and I mean, it's coming out. So hopefully, we can make the right conclusion about how we vote and who we vote for, and you know, we need more shows like this.
Yeah.
With the right information and people not afraid to speak and just put it out there and let people make their own minds up for the information that they have.
It's something that Clay Travers says constantly. I think the amount of people from, if you add up all the people in terms of the difference of how many votes were Biden won, some of these states were Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, you could barely fill up a football stadium
Wow,
with the difference.
that's crazy.
And you mean to tell me, and it was like four different states, maybe five, 4 or 5 different states, you know, one 10,000, one 20,000, one maybe 30, 40,000. But do you mean to tell me you don't honestly think that some people, had they seen the story,
Would have changed
would
their
not
mind.
have changed their mind and
Oh yeah.
voted differently?
Oh yeah.
Because as conservative as you are, Pedro, and as liberal as someone who's liberal is, there's a lot of people on the fence that
They just need
they
that
don't
one
follow
thing.
politics.
Yeah.
They're not following politics the way you are. They don't listen, to podcasts.
They're 4-year voters.
They're 4-year voters, and they don't even vote for the midterm elections.
No.
They go home, they get on with their lives. They don't want to deal with these big topics.
They're normal people.
They're normal people.
Normal people.
This is what most of Middle America looks like. And had they seen this story, they might they probably would not have voted for Joe Biden, because the corruption, the level, the amount of corruption with these stories, it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, if the media had painted Joe Biden the way they painted Donald Trump, I mean that's
Well,
crazy.
that's probably that's one thing that I often gripe about, is the people might say, okay, the election wasn't stolen, because you'd have to prove, you have
Yeah.
where's your smoking gun,
Yeah, where's
right?
that at?
You don't
Yeah.
have a smoking gun. There was a documentary that tried to do it, but there's still a lot of questions to be asked about it. But one thing that we do know is that the media mechanism in America was um,
And it still
tilted,
is.
and it still is.
Still is.
It's heavily tilted in favor
To
of the
one side,
Democrats, and to the point to where stories, I think I forgot which publication did a search on negative stories on Donald Trump compared to
Oh yeah.
other
Well, we
presidents.
just had the Georgia runoff, and it was the same way. The negative stories on Herschel Walker versus the negative stories on Raphael Warnock.
Yeah,
The same thing. So it's very one sided. It's very one sided. So we take these people that are doing this, you know, but like I said, very carefully,
yes,
because the moment they don't, they'll come and start. These people, they're young. So let's just leave it at that.
yeah.
But this is big. This is big. This is as big as it gets with bringing out some of the truth that is out there about. I mean, look at this. 2 years ago, COVID.
That was a big that was a
That
big
was
topic 2 years
big. That was
ago.
big.
There's a lot of suppression,
What happened
and
to
it wasn't
COVID?
just. I guarantee it wasn't just Jay Bhattacharya. There was a lot of people, not on the right, not in the middle, on the left, that were sounding the alarm and said that things needed to be different. We needed to take a different approach to COVID. And what did the media do? The media suppressed him, and they sorry. The media suppressed the stories. They suppressed the other content creators, and it's important, because when they're constantly suppressing one side, or one idea, the way we have a free government is you have a wide spectrum of different types of ideas, um, and people are able to listen to those ideas, whether they're good or whether they're bad. When you listen to different ideas, you're able to form a more educated opinion on what you should do, on how you should vote, on what you should do with your children, because you listen to crazy people. When you listen to crazy people, you know what a sane person sounds like. And so if you don't have that exposure, you're not going to be a well-rounded voter.
Here's one thing I want you to tell me right now. Where is COVID?
It's
I mean,
gone.
all of a sudden it just disappeared out of the U.S. I mean, it's still in China.
Well, we
I mean,
stopped
you see what's
testing
going
for it.
on.
We stopped testing for it, constantly. So
That's Lucas.
there's Lucas. Okay, so
So I mean, that was, imagine if we would have had this guy come out and say, hey, we don't need the lockdowns 2 years ago. I mean, you have a totally, and now I'm going back to the election. You have a totally different election. Everything is different. But I believe that these guys don't let any crisis go to waste.
No.
Alinsky's
Oh.
Rules for Radicals. Look up that book. Saul Alinsky Rules for Radicals. That's a
Zelensky
great.
was for radicals.
Yes, that's a great book. Never let a good crisis go to waste. And they don't.
That quote, what do you mean by that?
That means you take advantage of every little
But
thing.
where's the history of that quote come from?
That's from the
Can
unions.
you talk about that?
From the unions. So basically, he goes back to the unions, right? So everybody knows what the unions, right?
No, nobody knows what the unions are.
Really?
Always
Come on, guys. Go back to your history, American history.
I always assume that your audience doesn't know what you're talking about.
We as a nation, we had unions, right? Well, worker unions.
Worker unions.
Worker unions.
Okay.
So what this guy would do is he would go to the union workers and he would say, hey, the reason you're poor is because of your boss. The guy that is, getting all the work, all the jobs so you guys can do work. So he would route them up, put them up against their boss so that they could strike. And in that essence, they would strike, they supposedly would get more money. So this is how the unions would stay in business, because they would get more money from the, what do you call it? The corporations, from who they were working for. So he would go around doing all these things and basically just taking advantage of the workers, because he was the one making all the money instead of the union workers will always be union workers. They would never go. So, but he would never let his number one rule is never let a good crisis go to waste. So they were being supposedly underpaid. They were being taken advantage of. Not enough health benefits. Not enough retirement funding. And so that's how he would create a crisis out of nothing. That's where that term comes from.
Okay. So
basically,
going on to our next story.
Oh no. The greatest trade ever.
The worst trade in NBA history.
Oh, it's not the greatest?
When did this happen? This happened last night or the night before?
Thursday night. Well, Thursday night, Friday morning for us. No. Thursday.
Wednesday night, Thursday morning.
Thursday morning for us.
Wednesday night, Thursday morning. What are we talking about this trade?
Oh, I don't even want to. Just kidding. Just how to take you. We're talking about. We have Lucas over here. We have to edit all this out.
It's okay. That's what I wrote. My minute mark here.
Okay,
we're good.
So we're talking about WNBA. Was she a star?
Yeah,
I've never.
Yeah,
I mean, it's women's basketball.
Brittany Griner, yeah, she was a star.
Okay,
I knew who she was before.
Okay. Brittany Griner.
I use the term star loosely. I wouldn't go and ask her for an autograph if I saw her on the side of the
street. I wouldn't ask any WNBA star for an autograph. It's women's basketball.
Yeah, they're not exactly celebrities.
So you want to hit on what this girl did, Brittany Griner? Or you want me? I don't want.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Shoot it.
So I guess she's retired from WNBA now, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't play for them anymore, but she was playing overseas in Russia, right? And somehow, but she got caught with. She got caught carrying vape canisters with cannabis oil. My thing is, if you're going to go to another country, you might want to find out what's legal and illegal in those countries. Yeah. You don't just show up. Like, I'm not just going to take my guns and go to Mexico and thinking that I'm going to be okay carrying my gun around and not get arrested and get in trouble. So that's the first dumb move, right?
Yep.
So she gets arrested.
Go pee.
Go.
I can just
hit on it.
Okay. All right. So Brittany Griner, famous WNBA basketball player, is in jail. She got sentenced to 9 years in prison. Now, the media went into a frenzy trying to get the U.S. government involved to negotiate with Russia. That way she can be released from prison. Obviously, there was a lot of negotiations that went down, and I'm not happy with it, but she is gone. Now, this is what people are saying. Well, you're racist. I'm brown. Well, you hate your own kind? No, I don't.
She's not my kind. She's a woman.
You're a misogynist.
I
No,
don't
no,
even know
no.
what that is.
There's none of that. I think the reason why a lot of people are so upset about it is because she hates America. And she's so emblematic of so many people who hate America. And when this happened, she became the symbol for people who hate America. And a lot of people did not want to see her be helped.
Lock the door.
Yeah, lock the door.
Take it.
Um,
Don't let him outside. Put the chair in front of it.
so, uh,
Here's the thing. What I see.
go ahead. You got it. Come on.
The Democrats have a checklist. All right. And with a checkbox next to, I would say, people, not even people with influence, just people that they can use to promote their agenda. Brittany Griner, uh, she checks off a lot of these boxes. First off, she's a woman. Well, that's debatable, but she is a woman, right? Second of all, um, she's black. Oh,
Yeah.
Third of all, she's gay. That's another checkbox.
Okay.
And number four, like you said already, she hates America. So that's four boxes, four big boxes that stand out right away. And because if you and I go out tomorrow, we get arrested in another country, ain't nobody gonna negotiate for us. We're gonna do every bit of time in that country and then some.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with. I mean, if you're gonna trade for an NBA, WNBA star, uh, so-called star, you might want to renegotiate the person that you're giving up. Not, I mean, and here's the thing: if I was Brittany Griner, right, and you know she got wind of the Marine that is overseas, you know she knows about it. If they would have told me, hey, Brittany, we're gonna get you back, you know, if she would have said, you know what, if she had any unselfish skin in her, which she doesn't, she would have probably said, or I would have probably said, you know what, is the Marine being sent home with me as well? And if they would have told her no, and if she had any sense of pride of any kind, knowing that she deserves to be in jail because she got caught doing something illegal, right? She would say, well, you know what? When the Marine goes home, then I'll go home. You imagine she could come back home and run for president.
Yeah. She'd be loved.
I vote for her.
She'd be loved by a lot of people.
I'm a Christian. I would have voted for a gay
Well,
president.
who do they trade her for?
Oh gosh. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's hit them with this. Let's see if they've seen the movie. Nicolas Cage made a movie called The Lord of War, based on this guy who we traded this WNBA
Who was
player
he?
for. Victor Bout. You gotta say it like a Russian. I don't know how to say it like a Mother
Victor.
Russia. Victor Bout.
You're stupid.
So this guy, you want to say the nickname because I forgot the nickname though. What was it?
Yeah, the name. First, he was an arms dealer. His nickname was the Merchant of Death.
Now, if you don't know what an arms dealer is a weapons, heavy machinery, heavy artillery dealer. And he, to a little bit about his background, you see a lot of it in the movie. But he went into the old USSR, into old Russia when the downfall of Russia came, and he started buying up to the pennies, to the dollar, all kinds of ammunition, all kinds of weapons, all kinds of artillery, and he started selling them to all different bad people.
Yeah.
Bad people, right? And a lot of those weapons ended up in the hands of our enemies, and they were the a lot of American casualties happened because of those things. So he was in jail. He got caught in jail for what was his sentence? 25 years.
25 years.
25 years. So he was a really really bad guy. Really not a good guy per se. So with this trade, this deal that went down with the WNBA player, um, I mean, it's almost like they're laughing at us over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like it's like if you think that Victor is not gonna be back out there dealing in arms or just doing some sketchy stuff back in Russia, and that Vladimir what's his name,
Vladimir Putin.
Vladimir Putin is not gonna use him. Um, we got another thing coming. I mean, I believe that a lot of the weapons right now that we are giving to Ukraine will probably end up in the wrong hands at one point and be used against us, our own soldiers, our own against our own armies, and probably cause a lot of U.S. casualties in the upcoming years. But we still keep doing it. We keep getting in bed with the
Yeah, I
wrong
guarantee you that
countries.
he's going to go right back to what he was doing before.
Oh, I'm sure.
So what was he doing exactly in Colombia? Do we
In Colombia, let me
yeah.
see. Colombia. That's am I supposed to keep going down? That's it. It goes up a little bit.
Yeah. No, you're gonna go up to his U.S. prosecution. Naga.
I saw Africa.
At a certain point, he was basically in plans to kill Americans.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Yep.
Some of those weapons that he had, I'm sure ended up in the wrong hands at one point, and I'm sure a lot of U.S. casualties happens because of him. And so, but you know what the disagreeing part about all these things? Yeah, this was a bad deal. We got the short end of the stick on this one, big time. So I don't know who's actually handling foreign relations in the White House right now,
Yeah.
but man, here it is, Colombia, right? The FARC. Oh yeah, the FARC. That's the revolutionary with his name. What's the big drug lord down there? Pablo.
Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, Pablo Escobar. So yeah, so that's pretty big. I mean, that's nothing. CIA was involved in that. I mean, it's all big black um, thing that's going on there because you have the CIA involved, you have the FARC, you have the Drug Enforcement Administration. I mean, you remember Contra, the game Contra?
Yeah.
You know where that name came from, right?
No.
Central America, trying to take out Noriega.
Okay.
This guy right here, these guys right here, and the Mexicans cartels were all involved. I mean, you can look at it, and it's called. If you go on, good documentary to find. It's called The Last Narc.
The Last Narc.
The Last Narc.
Okay.
In on oh my gosh, Prime Video, and you see all that. And it's all kind of all tied into all this stuff. So, we're not as clean hands as we think we are as a nation as well. But and I think that's one thing. You hit both sides, and you kind of want to go through it. But this guy right here, with this trade, and we left the U.S. Marine. We left him. He's still in Russia right now. This girl, she's free. She came home. She's free. I mean, she's gonna go back to her life, whatever that may be. I'm sure she'll write a book about the 10 months she spent in Russian prison, and she'll make a killing. Only in America you can go to jail, come out, make a book, and become a millionaire. But what happens afterwards? Like, what is she gonna say? Because she got a written script. I haven't seen any interviews with her lately.
Yeah.
So I'm sure 60 Minutes, Oprah, all the big dogs are gonna be going after her, and I'm sure Russia either prepped her already for what she should say. I don't believe that there's gonna be one bad thing said about Russia and the Russian justice system, but this is what I do believe, that she's gonna be like the American system should be more like the Russian system.
Yeah.
And just to say, Russia didn't negotiate for. Do we have any of their Olympic athletes over here or hockey in jail?
I'm
No?
sure. No, I don't know about jail, but I mean, probably. He's a hockey player.
But
Those guys belong in jail.
but they didn't say, "Oh yeah, give me back the All Star hockey goalie because we need him bad." No, say, "Give me back my arms dealer. That's who I want back."
They knew they played. They
Oh,
played Joe
gosh.
Biden like a
Like
game,
a fiddle.
like a fiddle,
And the thing
and
is,
he let it
he
happen.
let it happen.
It's they're all corrupt. Everybody-
Meanwhile, Paul Nicholas Whelan is still in Russian custody right now. The U.S. Marine, who we should have negotiated from a while back.
I think they've been in negotiations to try and get him home, but I think Russia they have no interest in
They have no interest in letting him go.
Letting him go. Not a U.S. Marine is what I saw.
It's so we ended up getting this. That's horrible. I mean,
But she's black, bro. She's a lesbian. She checks off all the boxes.
this is like saying I'm a Muslim and I'm gonna whack a bunch of people because I'm gonna get 72 virgins. Dude, you can't find a virgin right now in this day and age.
Wow,
Dude,
you're extreme, bro.
it's like I don't know what these people are thinking sometimes. You traded an arms dealer for a basketball player.
Yeah,
An arms dealer responsible for U.S. deaths. And you think you made a good move because you brought home somebody who can dribble a basketball. And it's a freak of nature because I'm sure what is she, like 6'5" or something like that?
no, she's big.
She's tall.
She's tall.
I mean, that's a freak of nature, right? I mean, that's normal height. Women's height is what, 5'9", not even 5'5". So, I mean, she checks every single box right now for the Democrats.
Yeah.
Right? Honestly, I mean, but the thing is, you know what? Here's what I don't think we get as a society. This is what an American looks like for society right now. Somebody who's victimized, somebody who was a criminal, breaks the law, and yet wants to be not disciplined, and then you are, reinstated back into society, but somebody who avoids the discipline of their mistakes, gets a break, and gets rewarded for the bad behavior. That is the definition right now of what society looks at, what we have right now in society as young people and older people, because I mean you have she's not that young. How old is she? She's in her 30s, maybe 40s, no 30s.
I don't know.
She was born in 1990, so she's 20. She's 32. 32.
32.
So she's a 32-year-old woman with no sense of self-responsibility. That she broke the law in another country and that she got what the punishment in that country, not in our country, right? Not in our country. In that country, the punishment for that, the discipline for that crime was 9 years in prison. Maybe in our country is 6 months, 3 months, whatever, but you're not in the United States. You broke the law in that country. You didn't break it in the US, you broke it there. And so that is because the reason why I get upset about that is because if that's any other ordinary American that is white, they're doing the 9 years. I don't care. They're doing 9 years and plus.
Yeah.
This person, because they're black, gay, and I mean you can even throw a woman, but mostly because they're black and gay, they're getting a break. And so, I mean, what does that say for the rest of us? I mean, you have people here who cry because they break the law. I mean, look what's going on in California. In California, there's no law and order anymore. There's no street cops in some areas. Nobody gets arrested for looting, for all kinds of crimes nowadays. And if they call the 911 operator, say, well, we're not covering that area. You're on your own. So what are people to do? And all that extends from that. Because now you have criminals who are there's no law for criminals now. There's no law. There's no more. Um, how do you say? You broke the law. You're gonna pay the price. So where do we go as a society from there? Explain that one to me. There's no more punishment for breaking the law.
Yeah.
I mean, we're blessed that we live in the state of Florida, where we still got some law and order here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have the great Governor Ron DeSantis. We got Ron
DeSantis 2024.
DeSantis. Oh, he went
Hashtag
there. Oh, no, you
DeSantis
didn't.
2024.
No, you didn't.
Come
But
on,
you know
bro.
what? All in all, Brittany Griner, welcome home. Undeservingly so. Undeservingly so. Welcome home. Because you took the place of a true American hero, of a U.S. Marine. And now somehow you and George Floyd are going to be held as heroes. I can't believe we still talk about George Floyd.
Oh my goodness.
We got to do it. We got to do a show about
No.
George Floyd.
No, he won't get my time.
Guy was a criminal. Gee whiz.
So, next topic, last topic of the day.
Yay.
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 I know it's a little bit old, but
You talk about Yay, because I
Yay.
don't pay too much attention what's going on with Yay. I don't know what to make about him.
I don't think anybody knows what to make about him. There's so many different theories.
He
about-
makes sense and then he pivots. And
I don't know what to think. I've heard so many different theories.
do you think that
The
he's
one that I
mentally
heard-
ill?
The one that I heard today or yesterday, I think Tim Pool was talking about it, was that he's playing the left. He knew what he was doing. He went up there and he's sounding crazy on purpose. And Alex Jones
Oh,
sounds like a reasonable person, and he's basically just setting the left up, so people can be like, okay, well, I guess this guy's not that crazy after all. Look at him, like this is a real crazy person. Alex Jones,
it's not crazy.
he's not crazy. He loves America. He hates, the Nazis. He hates, these I forgot what the word is for them. People the Aryan Brotherhood. He hates them. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about Ye. But I think the highlight, if you don't know what happened, Ye, he said Hitler was a good person. Like straight up. I thought maybe like, okay, maybe they're taken out of context. That's not what he meant. No, he said Hitler was a good person.
For trying to get rid of the Jews?
Yeah. It's a whole conspiracy. He wasn't trying to get rid of the Jews. The Jews, he basically watched a documentary that crazy people watch. When they want to be crazy, they watch a documentary.
But
And
there's 6 million Jews
that were
died.
just unalived.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like six.
I mean, it's in history.
Yeah. But I mean, apparently, that's what he did. That's what he thinks. He thinks that Hitler, wasn't that much of a crazy person. He follows him and he's just going crazy.
But do you
So-
think that he's crazy or that he's actually playing a certain card that Democrats just can't see
I have no
or the
idea.
lefts can't see?
I have no idea. I don't have.
Because I've
I don't
thought
have a
about
strong
that.
opinion.
You know who I've thought about that's doing that to us? Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I've thought about now that's big, but yet the way he governed was totally opposite.
Yeah. That's what I thought at first
So-
too, and that's why I didn't vote for him in his first election. I didn't vote for Hillary, but I didn't vote for
I
Donald
thought you were going to
Trump.
say I didn't vote for Hitler.
No.
He
It felt like too much of a setup, and then even within the first year, I did an audio listen to the book by Bob Woodward called Fear, the biography of Donald Trump in his first years, and it looked like he's crazy. Donald Trump was crazy.
he's a business guy. He has
He's
to be
no,
crazy.
beyond crazy. But the more I heard and listened to podcasts about Bob Woodward, he seemed to be a person who liked to take things wildly out of context and paint the picture that he wanted to sell books. And
Right.
that was probably Donald Trump's mistake, doing the second book with him. After he painted him in such a negative light in the first book, he should not have the second book. And he did. And that's when a lot of things came out about Donald Trump. I forgot what was the big story that came out about Donald Trump with COVID-19.
But you know what the thing about it is about Donald now, and no, we're supposed to be talking about Kanye, but
Yeah, we're gonna go back to Kanye.
We're gonna
It's
go back
okay.
to Kanye.
The,
but,
the likes it hits.
But
Hopefully, it shows up in the
the
algorithm.
thing about Donald is like, what hasn't the left told us negatively about him that it doesn't even rub us the wrong way anymore?
He is what
You
he
know,
is.
yeah, he is
That's
what he
why.
is.
That's
Normally, you get a candidate, and there's a lot of things under the rug still that they, the moment you say I'm running for president, it starts coming out little by little. Oh, but he got elected. Okay, we got to save some for the re-election. Now, what do you got? What are you gonna say?
January 6th. That's what they have.
Can anybody spell insurrection? Gee whiz. Do you know what an insurrection is?
No, that was January 6th was not an insurrection.
Exactly,
But
it was
I'm
not an
I don't want to
insurrection.
say that because I would like this video to be on
Oh,
YouTube for longer
gosh.
than 5 minutes.
It's.
So that's it.
That's another show, but that
Yeah.
right there, we got set up from the word go on that one.
Yeah.
Everybody did. So, but going back to Ye, do you think he is playing that card, or do you think that he is mentally ill?
I don't know. I just think he's crazy. don't know how
Sometimes he
crazy
makes
he is.
total sense of what he says, and then
Some
sometimes
people
he's
are
just
saying
like,
that he's a
dude,
manic depressive bipolar person. I don't know. He's in a manic episode right now.
Well, the thing about it is his
I'm not a
ex-wife.
doctor.
His ex-wife doesn't say anything about him.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna get into his ex-wife.
I mean, she's crazy too. But you know who we need to hit on that we didn't talk about? Was that clothing line?
Balenciaga.
I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Yeah,
that's how much a fashion guy I am. I don't
We'll
even...
definitely talk about it next week.
I thought that was a person. Is that a person?
Balenciaga. I have no idea. I honestly don't know. I just know it's a big
But I
clothing
do
line.
know that the Mexican actress Salma Hayek is married to the main homeboy.
Salma Hayek's not Mexican.
Yes, she is.
She's Middle Eastern.
You just don't listen to that.
Wow.
Gee, she's Mexican.
Misinformation.
That's how it starts.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
But so we have, a lot of things are coming out.
Yeah.
We're thankful for Elon Musk. Don't trust him. We're thankful for Miss Weiss. Don't trust her. And but
Bari Weiss.
you know what? We'll take it for right now, and we'll see where it takes us.
Yeah. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in, checking out our clips or whatever. Hit a like, hit a follow.
Uneducated opinion.
Appreciate you guys. The uneducated opinions.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
God bless.
God bless.
We got a lot of editing to do, bro. Lucas didn't let us do it.